Okay, amazing. We started to record, so nothing is missed. Yeah, Alexandra is from Belgrade. I know you, Alexandra. I'm so happy to see you, and I'm really so happy to see the faces on the camera. Jasna is from Slovenia. Jasna is also, I know her even in person. I'm just so happy. Mio, where are you from? And Nadine, where are you from? UK. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Oh my God. I can't even describe you. My heart is just jumping out of joy for being able to connect with you. It's so, so beautiful. I can't even believe I was so anxious to do these meetings like up 2 months ago. It's just like such an out of the comfort zone. I do this work for last 2 years with an incredible lady from Serbia that was my mentor, and I teach the same knowledge. But I think like showing up there is not as public, and it doesn't feel so intimidating as actually doing your own project. So I just want to start with vulnerability because I believe that is what our girls are made of and what actually connects us to each other. And I just have to admit that that was something that made me feel so nervous, even though I'm so good at what I do. And I was so amazed and so perplexed. Why was that like that? And I still didn't get the full answer, but I believe it lies in some kind of like maybe witch wound or something like that. I really believe that they were not able to share this wisdom maybe ages ago. So yeah. Oh my God. I'm so happy to see you all here. And today we're going to have a fun session. I would like to know from the 1 to 10, I actually got inspired by to hold this kind of advanced subject from one beautiful lady. Yes, feels good to hear you say you felt nervous. Oh, yeah, yeah. I really like to be authentic. And I think actually in relationships, vulnerability makes you connect better to a man. He's not looking for a perfect lady. He's looking for somebody who is able to show her flaws and at the same time have this inner authority and inner strength. And that is definitely gonna, yeah, like, see, I always look so confident and I actually so have so many insecurities and I love to share them because I I believe that when we are doing the things that are courageous, and I did a lot of courageous things in dating, we will feel fear. We will feel nervousness. And that's the best time to do it because that's what courage is. And I'm always doing it in small steps. I don't try to overwhelm myself and just do it all at once because it really kind of makes me feel so afraid. Oh, somebody else joined us. Enola and Neola. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. Correct me if it's wrong. Where are you joining in from? I would love to know. I would like to see your faces if it's possible. If it's not, it's fully okay. I actually learned something incredible lately. So I'm a part of a pretty powerful mastermind, yeah. And actually showing up on camera is it's so beautiful to see you, Georgetta. It's actually the people who show up on camera have better results. And I was like, I was asking my mentor, why is that like that? Because they don't hide. And sometimes I'm also walking around and I cannot turn on camera, so afraid. Yeah, so it's completely okay, but just that's something very interesting information. And so I always try to kind of show up. Welcome from Nigeria. Oh my God, I'm so happy to connecting all over the world. Oh my God. Yeah, I actually started this story and then we're gonna go into the today's subject. And I would like to hear, oh, Adine, yeah, I love to see you here. So I always like to oh yeah, that was my first question. I'm so excited. I always had it ADHD and it's a beautiful gift actually, but I can go a million sides and places at the same time. So I would like to just know from all that you're here how interesting the today's subject is. We're going to have kind of pretty advanced class. This is the kind of classes I hold on with my advanced creation community. So you're going to have the ability to literally be as a participant like we have in our paid programs. So that's really exciting. And I'm excited to share a lot of wisdom here today with you and things started to click. So the today's subject is how to choose the best man between a few of them. So how interesting is this subject for you from 1 to 10? Give me feedback. I can talk about all the subjects, but I really want to hit on the ones that are like the most interesting to you. So just like type in the chat 10. Okay. Thank you so much for your feedback. You're giving me so much energy with just interacting with me like this. 11. Oh my God. Wow, girl. Like I feel like my heart is gonna burst out of joy. I'm feeling that. 10, Georgetta. Thank you. 10, Yasna Mio. Oh, good. So we hit a good subject. Thank you so much for giving me your feedback. I really like to exchange energy. I will include you during my talking. So this is gonna be like a talking. Conversation between us. And I will start with this story. So when I was 16, I'm from Split, Croatia. That's my hometown. And I used to always be more interested in tourists. So I was not this girl who liked to gossip, like to talk bad behind people's back. I always loved to explore new cultures. And we didn't travel a lot as a family. Back, like my family didn't have this culture to travel. So the only place I could meet people all over the world was in my hometown. And I started this since I was 15. I would literally go out. I would literally meet men, guys, like boys that are from different countries. Me and my friend would literally just like talk to them until the late into night. We would never kiss or something like that. I really didn't date a lot in my life before the 27, but I would love to listen to different cultures and the stories and all of these countries all over the world always felt so interesting for me. And today I live in Germany and I get to have that same feeling and passion that I had when I was little. And remember, like, I want you to remember something of your own that was a passion when you were little, and now you have abundance of it today. Do you want to share maybe if something comes to your mind, what is that? Like that's something that just came to my mind as I saw all of your names and we are all over the world, and that's something that has always been my dream. And oh my God, like my heart is just pounding out of joy having that. So make please share if you have some similar thing. For example, like maybe like what I so my students, she's named Anita. I was fortunate enough to travel among two cultures. Amazing, amazing. So basically, we have our beautiful queen student Anita. So she's not here today, but she has always dreamed of. She was always good in designing clothes, and when she was little, she would look in Paris and be like, "Wow, if I could just live there." And she was just sharing with us that she lives in Paris and it happened so naturally. It literally manifested itself from nowhere. And she just realized, wow, as a child, I was always dreaming of that. And now I have that. And the reason why I'm first starting with this is because it's so important that we remind ourselves of the blessings that we already have, because sometimes in the world that we are today, and this is also related to today's subject. I'm starting with that energy on purpose because in today's world, we sometimes get stuck in our head, in our schedule, in the things that we have to do and things like that. So, what actually dating and men help us is to kind of replenish our dreams and this this under the head down our connection to our dreams, to our desires, to something that has always been actually and still carry that forward today. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. We have this beautiful world inside of us that sometimes gets stuck while living the robotical life of just normal job and things like that. And this is the world that is called our feminine energy. Actually, we need both masculine and feminine energy. I actually am financially standing pretty well, and that gives me opportunity to choose between really that gave me opportunity to choose between great guys and say no to the things that I didn't like. So I think it's pretty important for ladies that they have something on their own, because sometimes when I talk to ladies, and this is where I'm going to get into how to choose the best men. So it's really important to know that when you don't have your skills developed, and when you don't have your masculine energy, and when you can't earn your own finances, sometimes you get to meet some powerful men who set you rules what to do if you want him to provide for you, and then you're kind of imprisoned because he wants these things from you, basically in exchange for him something doing something from you. And this is actually not really a healthy relationship if we look at it like that. So in dating, sometimes you might look at like, oh my God, if I could just date this powerful man, but it all comes to you, and you are the source of your power. Are you disowning your power in dating through some specific men? Because sometimes in the past, I used to admire some men just because I was about to have that in life. I was about to own that desire. I was about to live it myself. And my dreams are my connection to the divine, to the God, and they are real. They are really real. They are not some things there that are insignificant. And in this world, we have to go through a lot of contrasts to basically learn the skills that we need to maintain those dreams and have them. So that's a normal process. We live in a world of duality. So I want to start off with that because when we are dating many men at once, especially for marriage, the important thing to know is the reason why we do that in dating period is because that's the fastest way to learn to recognize your own, to basically use all of those situations like mirrors. The man and the outside world is actually always mirroring to us something that we need to up level in ourselves and something that we need to become so we can then be able to create this powerful relationship that is 2 times 100. And this is what I'm teaching you how to get so empowered by example, also leading by example, how to get so empowered that when you are choosing the man, you basically are almost above the romance, almost above what he's able to give you because you're so like fulfilled yourself. You are so full yourself that he cannot not give you, like you are a prize, literally. And that is not a word, that is something that is a journey of becoming. Because a lot of people use this word and then look at their results in their love life. It is a process of continuous becoming. It's the process of continuous refining, and it's all about you, really. Um, so this is the reason why I dated many men at once for marriage, and I'm going to get to the question that we had for today, is because I understood dating as a free therapy. So it was a process for me to finally meet my own wounds and my own flaws, and those are generational, are taken on from our ancestors and our moms and grandmas. And I understood because my results in my love life were not good. So I couldn't lie to myself anymore. And that's a really good moment when we come there. If we had a lot of failure, if our choices are not really serving us, this is the best place to start. Even though it seems like, no, I would rather have success. No, you need to develop wisdom to have success. This is what basically makes you successful in love life and in relationships. Otherwise, if I'm just lucky that I'm with somebody, where is power in there? I'm disowning my power. And you want to own your power. And we're going to talk that style of dating many men at once. So when I started to date, the first guys that I was meeting were basically wanting to have just one night stand with me. And I was asking myself why. First, I was very new and I was just learning how to date as a therapy, as a free therapy, because I had a whole system how I'm doing it. And and the reason why I attracted that at the beginning is because somehow I was not fully available for myself. So I was meeting men that were now my mirrors, and they were also not fully available for me. And they were just my mirror, basically. And this is not the way we look at love. We basically look at you're either lucky and you're not lucky. But there are no skipping steps. Today I have so many examples. I mean, we created, me and my partner, more than 300 to 400 transformations. I am the lucky one who usually gets some shameful story about something from my students because they are too afraid to share it in the group. And the stories have so much similarities between each other. And what I realized teaching this knowledge and also embodying this knowledge myself, not even if you get married and have luck with that guy, you can't even skip the steps, which was so fascinating for me. So you can already start implementing these power moves in dating because you'll anyways not be able to skip that. So how does that manifest if you don't actually own your power? So now you maybe get a good guy, which is good, which is already some state of healing, and he will now start to reflect your shadow in the marriage or in a relationship, and you're going to become this woman who just basically forgot about herself and her desires, and she just want to fulfill him. This is what men don't want, because spiritually, Divine masculine wants a divine feminine. Divine feminine is a whole. She is also masculine inside. She's able to take care of herself. So she doesn't need somebody just to not stay alone. That's not why I'm married. And I am so happy that while I was dating and while I was in that state that I cannot be alone, I cannot be with myself, I'm so happy that men that were showing up were not a good quality. And that's also just, it makes sense, it's logical, because I was not at the place where I actually was ready for my king. And this is really a process of becoming a queen. This is not a process of getting a man. This is not the reason why we date many men at once. And the reason is becoming. The reason is reading between the lines, reading what is this man mirroring me. For example, if he treated you bad on a date, his message for you might be like for you to apply it basically like I deserve better. And then I will treat myself better because that's how it goes. You first give it to yourself and then the universe reflects. And the more you are able to give it to yourself, the more he will want to give you. It's totally contra, like most people do it. This is the only way you will become successful because if you become what you're seeking for, that's how you easily maintain it. That's, I'm all about that. So now we are coming to the question. I don't know that did you is this interesting for you? I can talk forever and I don't know if it's interesting. For me, this is super easy. I'm applying this for years. This is for me like two plus two, it's four. It's just super easy. Sometimes I feel like I'm boring to you or to my students because this is all just so logical for me. Like I do it for years. I was confused when I started, but I live it for years. So sometimes I get into this mindset that like, oh my God, am I boring them? Is this something that they already heard 10,000 times? Or is this something that is like clicking for them? I really need your feedback. I'm honest, really, like, because I'm trying to teach something that is super easy for me. And I'm just, yeah, amazing, amazing. So the clicks are happening. Oh my God, Laura, thank you so much. I also know you in person and I really appreciate that you're here. I'm just feeling so amazing. You're so beautiful. Support to all of your topics, so important. And I resonate so much with the way you're talking about them. Thank you so much. Come back after my child fell asleep. Don't worry. Yeah, greetings from Zaur. Very interesting, but so deep, trying to resolve it all. Okay, so the thing is, I will be saying a lot of things and you won't be able to get it logically because this is an energy transmission. The way I teach, the way the feminine teaches is all over the place. Our emotions are all over the place. I don't teach like masculine men. Yes, I have some structures for my students to be able to grow, but at the same time, I want to keep it flowing. I want you to basically just exchange energy with me because that is where transformation comes from. Sometimes we have situations when students sign into our course, they don't even listen to the lessons and they manifest something and change. How is that possible? Because whenever you're investing in you, this is also a time investment when you're here. You already have that vision, that intention that you set in your head, and now you basically invested yourself in your vision. That's why women who work on themselves in this way are the ones who are slowly getting results because instead you being committed to your old self that was suffering and in pain and had a lot of problems with men in relationships, now you're investing and hanging around people who this is easy for, and you're naturally exchanging energy. Feminine energy is actually very healing. It's not just this soft thing and I just need a man to take care of me and do everything for me. That's not it. Feminine energy is literally a healing energy. It heals men, it heals children around you. Like you're just a beacon of light, especially when you worked on yourself and when you integrated yourself, when you reparented yourself. And this is the process of dating actually. It's like a free therapy. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be a process to just get married, just get a guy, because you will still face the same issues. So just also, I what I wanted to say before I read this beautiful question from Marissa, who basically, yeah, maybe is Marissa here today? Because I don't see the name. I know she's connecting from Florida. So let me just see. If you're here, you can just write me something in chat because I don't see your name here. Okay, no problem. So let me just see before I continue. What else did you write? I'm really love that you participate. Yes, keep sharing. This is valuable, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Not boring at all. Amazing. Thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate it. So this is also the difference. with how men date and how women date. The process is completely different, and feminine is chaotic. And what we want to do is create an understanding in that inner chaos. And we all start with chaos because our moms and our grandmas didn't really teach us this knowledge. In India, the ladies, because I know ladies all over the world, this knowledge is unfortunately getting a little lost, and it's sad. But in the past, especially for arranged marriages that were fairly arranged, like mm, ladies would come into the marriage with this knowledge. That's why the a lot of marriages would end up being successful because the love is being built with the good quality guy. This is how actually love happens. And we have it all like upside down because of the Hollywood movies. And unfortunately, that's the reason why we keep on cycling, and why we, for example, I think the perfect man is the one from the 50 Shades of Grey. This just the red flag, everything basically about that guy. It's not even realistic the way they build his character in a movie and things like that. And I used to think that's a guy I want. Like, he's a billionaire, he's giving me these great times, he's crazy about me. Also, he's controlling. This is not the relationship you want to have. This is not a high quality guy. This is actually a pretty messed up guy who would be a project. And no matter how much he has, this is not a husband material. Do you realize that? So this is unfortunately something that I know Hollywood movies have the best intention. They just want to entertain us and they just want to put us in fantasy. But with the level of trauma that we inherited from our ancestors, it's not really doing us the good pictures and the good signs how it actually looks like. So what Marissa actually asked me, and this is how this whole subject started, is she said, I'd love to see more about dating, going out with more than one person at a time. I'm in early stages of relationships with two men who seem to adore me. Yeah, but nothing has been labeled yet. I feel weird trying to get to know them both, but I generally do like them, each of them. So I actually dated with my options opened. The first guy in my dating cycle, that was after 1 year of circular dating. So I was dating him primarily, and then I also went on a neutral date with other men, and I was just talking to them. I was trying to determine, will he call again? It was just neutral 1 hour dates. It was just basically trying to determine with time, do our values match? Do our life visions match? And that is a process of where I also had to drop out of my head because I'm very logical. I'm an engineer. Like, I love to, yeah, so brainwashed by Hollywood. I really believe they didn't have a bad intention. I really want to believe in a good universe, but it takes a wise person to be able to see through that and just really take entertainment from there. And today, if I would even be looking at that movie, I would maybe just use a part of me that wants to fulfill that fantasy and maybe even use it as an inner process. So there is always a way. Oh, Evelyn also is joining. Amazing. Yes, we engineers love to. We're good at finding solutions. That's why I'm so good at finding solutions in relationships. But I'm just always in my head. And in my head, the intuition is not there. The intuition is neck down. Basically, when you go out of your head, which was so difficult for me, I was always working in my head. I'm still very logical. Um, but under that, when I had to start myself, how do I feel? And this is the first thing that for Marissa's question, your first and the main focus in dating is to not think about, is he good, is he this and that. Your first thing is to ask yourself, how do I feel? And just the basic feelings. Do I feel sad? Do I feel bad? Do I feel happy? Do I, from moment to moment, by the way, this is not a definite thing. It's not like I feel happy the whole day. We are all women. Like, who here feels 10 different feelings, 50 different feelings a day? I feel a little bit sad, and then a little bit super happy, and then joyful, and then I feel both a little bit of joy and then maybe anger at the same time. And I'm able to really recognize that, and that also helps me be able to navigate relationships and to kind of distinguish my feelings and what is happening outside of me and how do I react. It's basically emotional intelligence. And this is the base practice that we need to do through dating. We are actually developing more and more of emotional intelligence while we are healing all that has already been there inside of us, trapped, to that will start out to heal. Because once we start this journey, Our subconscious mind will help us get all these things out slowly, one by one. It's a very beautiful process, very led process where we don't get overwhelmed with everything, but there are a lot of triggers. That's why a lot of people avoid dating, because it's really, without a good approach, without a good tools, without a good understanding of what you're doing, it really looks messy. It really looks like, what is the purpose of that? It really looks like there's nobody good on a dating app. But you don't understand that when you start, you will be attracting from the level of healing where you started, and you might not be impressed with your results. That is just the fact. Most people don't want to tell you that. Oh, Victoria also joined. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for you to be here too. So that's what most people don't want to face. And I'm going to tell you why you want to face that. Because right now, these wounds that are related to masculine are showing up everywhere, are showing up at your work with men and with the relationship with money. That would be our next masterclass. I will tell you how my relationship to money changed when I basically became who I am today. And it was the same process, the same tools and everything. And this is the reason why actually I really believe that the biggest breakthrough for most of the women today to integrate the healthier masculine and to develop and bring out more of their intuition is actually in relationships. And it's going to hit all the areas. Like last 5 years, I have been working, like maybe last 1 year, I have been investing a little bit more into business, like business programs, but they don't fit me if they are just about the strategy and a masculine strategy. Because if I want to be a mom, I don't have time to work 12 hours a day, be on sales calls and do all of that thing. And it's also not fun, actually. It's just like you have to do that to do that. That's actually a masculine way of relating and earning and things like that. Feminine way is completely different. And there is this chaos starts in dating. So the first thing, what I should ask myself is, how do I feel? First with men, and then later you're going to be asking yourself that question with everybody. How do I feel in my work? How do I feel with the way I earn? How do I feel with these friends? And there is where the universe is going to literally start. You will start to become like, how do I say, like the channel for your desires. And the things will start happen also in a magical ways, while you're going to also be doing the steps. um, and you're going to be dealing with triggers and things like that, but the creation changes. So your question, Melissa, for both of these guys, when you are going to be neutrally dating them, is, how do I feel? How do I feel from moment to moment, from the beginning of the date to every part of the date? And you shouldn't ask yourself because of him, it's because of you. In my first year of dating, I had a dating journal. So I had a journal where I would write how would I feel. And by the way, when we read this journal, it's so funny. Like literally, my journal looked like this. I feel happy. I feel amazing looking at the sky and the trees. And it was really difficult to talk like this. I feel green. I feel colorful. I feel lovely. And then the next part of the day, I feel so bad. This guy didn't call. Oh my God, I feel so triggered. I feel angry. I feel sad, and my whole thought process with him. And then in the evening, I would be like, okay, I feel a little sad. I don't know why. I had a good training. When I was training, I was feeling powerful. And then at the end of the training, I was feeling a little less powerful. So do you see how much I trained during the day? How do I feel? And this is what helped me slowly, slowly navigate the men. Because men will talk to you logically. They all talk to you logically. They convince you about the things logically. They tell you why something that they're doing is logical. But where do you feel that something is not right? Tell me. Tell me in the chat before I spill it out so I can see that you fall asleep. Where do you feel that something is not right? Yes, that's one place. Hearts, that's the other place. You got it. You got it. Now, you can keep on writing. Yes, in your body, actually in your heart. And this is what we are trained not to trust. Do you remember our childhood? Like, don't cry, don't think that, don't feel that, because we are coming from that age. Our parents were living more in a survival. They didn't mean anything bad, but it was a different times. There was no internet, there was no ability to, for example, have a extra job online. So they were living more in a survival. And when you live in survival, you don't have a lot of time to feel. And the way I discovered this in my life, Typical feminine way of teaching all over the place, but we are talking about actually how to decide between two men. I'm just leading you into the right path to start feeling yourself how to actually select. So I actually, after at the age of 23, I made the wrong choice for a man. It was not a wrong choice. It was a perfectly good choice because I didn't know any better. Like we always do from the best that we know. And it had to happen. And it made me this person today. So it's the best thing that happened to me. I thought it's the best idea ever. And while I was still connected to the abuse, I didn't start feeling so much. Do you understand why? Does anybody here understand why I was not feeling so much? Does anybody want to guess? Write me, I don't know. Write me, I don't know if you don't know. Just let me see till you fall asleep. I really love to interact. It just makes me feel better. I sometimes feel bad when I'm just talking and I feel like everybody fell asleep. So yeah, that's true. I was afraid. I was afraid. Some other guesses? I'm welcoming them all. It feels easier to be in my head. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what I want to know. Okay, great. I will tell you. Anybody else? Thank you so much for participating. It really, really, like you literally, guys, give me energy. You give me energy to kind of download more of the things that I know and put it into the words. I was suppressing pain. That's true. You lost your trust in yourself and ability to discern. That's true. But I'm going to tell you because nobody guessed it yet. I had to still run from the danger. Do you understand? I was still sitting in the same room with the lion who is about to literally eat me alive. And there you don't you don't access your feelings. Your subconscious mind is actually so damn, we literally have all the intelligence in us. We are like animals. So I back then didn't start to experience trauma because I had to run away from him. And once I was safe, once I was living with my grandma, once I was good, then everything started to swim up. I started to slowly lose identity. And of course, they had to happen because I'm so good at building identity and shifting identities and leaving behind my old self. And year by year, I feel and more of myself. And this is what this I wanted to say Bruce Lipton, but not Bruce Lee said, like, be like water. This is what he meant. He meant that at each point of your life, you need to become an advanced version of yourself, because that's how you always maintain your success with ease. If you always have to think, if you always have to basically not be on an autopilot, it would always be effort. So our ego is perfectly designed to basically lead us slowly to the next and the next phase. But if we don't know how to work with it, if we just look at it as negative, then we cannot embody the new identity and let go of some other things that are not serving us. For example, like we had to let go of an identity of a child before we stepped into being more of a woman. Some people are still children in 40s. We all know that. But is that true? We had to let go of some versions of ourselves. And this is when we consciously use this knowledge. I basically left life left the way I completely healed from bipolar depression, and this is the only way you can completely heal without medication or anything. You have to create a completely new identity that has no of the evidence of illness. So you have to literally quantum leap into the self that is completely healed. All the brain chemistry works perfect. And how do you do that? I did it through Joe Dispenza meditations. I don't know how many of you heard testimonials. I am one of them. 7 years ago, I was meditating 2 hours a day. I was reading all the books. I had no results. And this is what I still use in my life. This is one of my biggest secrets. I always, always, always feel and already see how the next version of me looks like. And then the resources show, and then the money shows, and then the mentors show, and then some people show, and things like that. Amazing, Mio. I'm so excited. We should share the things that we create. I think it's a powerful way because we all forgot that we are creators. And this was a part of a game of getting born, that we forget that we are actually creators. And if you live also in trauma, you live in shame and guilt. And shame and guilt are the first two energy centers. So they're basically here. And could you see how low they are? They're basically grounding you. And if you live in guilt and shame and in these lower states of feelings, your feeling of the world around you is more like 3D. It's more like you are less of a creator and things happen to you. And sometimes we can be very powerful in some other field, but in a lovely relationship, we still are basically in our first two centers. And we need to do the work to transcend it. And that's why I feel there is no luck. The right guy will never come because we always attract from the level where we vibrate currently. And we can always shift that because we are energy and we are all energy. How did I shift so many things? Eating disorders, bipolar depression, complete unluckiness with men, even poverty. I couldn't, when I basically healed from depression, I was working, I'm a software engineer, I have a master's degree, but nobody wanted to give me a job for 7 years because I was still healing. So I was working in fast foods as a bartender, and it was really a journey up, and I had to literally rebuild my whole life, rebuild my whole belief system. And you know what is the best thing that happened to me is because I, as such a young girl, and I felt like a victim. I hated my life and everybody else looked more successful than me. I was living like, I looked like I lived a shit life, but that was literally, I was reborn. I was able to choose my belief systems. I was able to choose the people I'm studying from. I started to read books 8 hours a day because I couldn't work. I was not, nobody wanted to give me a job. So this is the, sometimes in the worst parts of our lives, worst years of our lives, those years created who we really are. We judge them when we are there. We judge now not being lucky with men, but you don't have any idea where is actually universe leading you. Because where you are at, this version of yourself will create the future version of you. She takes all the credit. I feel so grateful, so incredibly humbled by that Maria because she couldn't see. She was blind, walking blind in fate. Basically, I was doing all the work, not having any results. And I was just walking and walking and walking. And there was nobody to tell me, you're great, you might succeed. Today I have people like that, so it's easier. But back then I didn't. And this is how powerful we are. You all have this in you. I, my sharing just activates this power in you. I'm not more powerful than you. We are shoulder to shoulder. I feel like I'm talking to queens. This is the power you have within you, but you forgot about it. And you will need it with men. You will need it in life. It's a foundation for anything, absolutely anything. So now coming back to dating two men and how will Melissa qualify them? So first of the thing that you need to know, any man can fall up at any time. You don't even, I can't even have know the signs. Sometimes when I used to date, somebody would be like totally into me for 1 month, who had that, and then he was just gone in one day, or he stopped texting less and less and less, and he just disappeared. How many of you experienced that? How many of you, you can pull in the hearts. So we transcend it, the hearts. Nobody experienced that from you. Okay. I think we all did. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It needs to happen. It's normal. I not one had many of these guys. Do you know what was the lesson for me? What was my mirror in that situation? Because every man is a mirror. You maybe I'm connected with myself so much when things are going good, but when things go bad, am I really reparenting myself? Am I really being there for myself? Am I really healing? This is what universe was reflecting me. And thanks God those guys left because I was not ready for a man back then. I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Universe is protecting you all the time. Whenever one man leaves, it's a protection. It's a part of the success. But you don't see it that way because you feel the heartbreak, and the heartbreak has a spiritual meaning of a rebirth. It's like literally crushes your identity, and the universe basically tells you, okay, you've done that shit. It's enough. I'm gonna send you this guy. He's gonna leave, and you're gonna have to leave your identity behind or keep on suffering. And the faster you catch these things, the faster you start to play the behind game, the real game of creation, the more you see between the lines and the more you welcome everything, the more you welcome, oh, heartbreak, yes, I feel bad, I feel sad, I'm crying in the bed, I'm gonna let myself cry, but what is good in this? What is coming? And then you understand that you have a choice as a human being. Do you want to choose that there is something good in this? The lucky girl syndrome. It's pretty, it takes time to train that. I manage, I train that. That's why I know I'm gonna be successful. Even there is a lot of challenges right now in some other fields that I'm just building. But I have this lucky girl syndrome. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, why this didn't happen? I don't know. What is good in this? And the answers don't come immediately. Universe sends me people, resources, but I keep on pushing. Instead of being like, why am I a victim? Why is this not good for me? Universe will respond to that. Why don't you ask different questions? Why was this guy the best for me, even if he had to leave? What was the lesson here? What was the present here? What was the gift? And you have to repeatedly ask yourself that while you're in pain, while you're down there, and the answers will come. Not immediately. That's the trick. The answers will not come in the moment. Maybe in some situations will. For me, even today, I'm super advanced. They don't come like that. But I trust life and I trust process and I trust that they will show up. And they always do. But do you know when they don't show up? When you least expect them. Because if you're creating from the unknown, this is Joe Dispenza, then you cannot predict how the things will happen and when. So you cannot predict when the right gun will come, the right man will come. You cannot predict which of those two men will basically select. Maybe both of them fall off. Maybe both of them you will lose, and then you will have another roster because you don't control the process. You can work on yourself. You can use the whole journey to heal yourself, but you cannot control. You cannot control who will gonna choose you at the end because it's still you're traveling into the unknown. And the biggest winner in the whole game is always you and them too, because we are all creators of our life. You can never damage somebody. Look at how I look at my basically abuse. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm thankful because he didn't know any better. I understand that that person had to go through a lot of trauma and didn't ever heal. Maybe didn't won't even heal in this lifetime, but I get to be lucky. I get to be lucky to be on this side. And if that didn't happen, it would happen in the next lifetime, and the universe will test me until I say, hey, this time it ends with me. Does it end with you? Or are you going to propone that thing further and further? So I think I answered your question now. Basically, you have to keep on dating both. If you want to be exclusive with just one, good. But nobody of them asked you to be a girlfriend, and that still means they are casual with you. Men, they don't assume. This is something you need to know about men. We girls assume. They ask you. They ask you, do you want to be my girlfriend? Do we want to be exclusive? They ask you. And if they don't, they are just dating you casually. They didn't decide for you. They can be like calling you every day. They can be dating you every day. They could be doing everything, but they didn't decide. They didn't. This is something that takes a little time for our students to click, but this is how it is, literally. Who is surprised by that? Even if he meets you with his parents, it means nothing. Even if he slept with you, nothing. Even if he brings you flowers every day, nothing. Even if he texts you every day, it means nothing. You can enjoy it. You can live in the present. That's what I did because I couldn't predict. But it means nothing. And maybe you will still catch feelings, but it still means nothing. And even if you get the ring and then never this second comes, it still means nothing. I know it feels like weird to live like this, but it's a skill. The more experience you have, 250 dates, I talk to more than 1,000 men, and I get to look at all of my beautiful students dating, and I basically get their feedback. Same. No guarantees in life. There is no guarantees when we will get from away from that job. There is no guarantee when that opportunity is coming. There is no. But do you know who is a guarantee? It's you. I am the only guarantee. You are the only guarantee. Maybe I look like a good trained guarantee, but it's in you. What you see on this call, it's you. I am a part of you. That's why you're here. We are co-creating. And I believe your higher self helped you also, because a lot of people didn't connect today. They will listen later. So, do you see? The only guarantee is you in life. With men, you. How do you interpret things? How do you heal things? How do you go through things? Are you staying a victim or are you choosing to ask yourself what is good here? And the universe always delivers. The universe is the only one who can change a guy, not you. You cannot control it. Yeah. So do you ask for clarity from one or the many men you're dating or wait for them to ask? I ask them after some time if it's in my interest. Sometimes you don't want to ask too fast because you want to see what he will do himself. This is something I teach my students. Anna is joining us. Yeah. So, you know, there is two things that we're training in dating. You don't want to always tell them all that they need to do. You want to see what will they do on their own. And once you know that you don't want to keep on dating them if it's fully undefined, then, or if you think you can't learn some lessons there with him, for example, you finally met a good guy who's treating you well, you didn't have that, you had a players, I believe it's good to go at least 10 dates with him. You will not get super fast attached to that guy also, most likely. If you do, it's okay still. You are the guarantee. If he leaves or stays, you are the guarantee. You will invest yourself, you will find the answers, you will be your power. That's the only control you will have. Only control ever. Can it happen that I'm married now and that something happens to somebody around me? It can. And what will I do? I have to heal through that because we are co-creating. Somehow, I don't know the whole plan, but I choose not to be a victim. And it's difficult at the moment. And I want to ask myself, why me? But I choose a different question. Why was this a gift? Why was this the best thing that happened to me? While I'm crying, I ask myself sometimes because I want to get those answers. And then later, you just get the knowing. Later, when the time is right, when the answer should hit you, and you're like, oh my God, that's why happened. Oh my God, it totally made sense. I don't know, did any of you read the book from Viktor Frankl, The Search for Meaning for Life? Did anybody? Probably you did. Maybe right now you don't remember. Like, yes, amazing. So basically, you can keep on telling me if you did. It's an incredible book, a incredible message. So basically, he was in the World War II, closed in the concentration camp, and of course, when you are caught and you're closed, you don't know will you survive until tomorrow. You don't have enough food. People around you are abusive. It's crazy. He was living day by day, and he was basically just. In a way surviving, but at the same time, he started to notice some patterns. This is why I really love to learn from mentors. I don't have to do all mistakes myself. I like to learn from people, so I don't have to do them. So first of all, I will just share two codes from that book, and then you can share yours. There's many codes in that book. Basically, the first one is people who would set goals and a date on a goal. And this is, by the way, the feminine way of setting goals. I don't necessarily set dates, and if I do, I don't expect things to happen by then. I just basically still play with it. Basically, the people who set goals that they will be out of the concentration camp by, for example, like 12th of the 12th December, and the day came, what do you think happened to them? You can write in chat. Mio, don't cheat. You know the answer. So for everybody else, what do you think they did? What happened? What happened to their mind when that didn't happen? Yeah, they got depressed or sad. You're smart. You know that you set yourself goals and then you go basically into the lump. Why? And then start asking yourself like, can I trust God? Is the universe on my side? And but there's nothing bad with setting a goal and with a date. But this is not how our dreams are delivered. You cannot put a date on it because it's a process of becoming. So what do they do? There was ability to choose two things, either a cigarette or a meal or a next meal. So when this would happen, the next day they would choose a cigarette instead of a meal, and slowly, of course, because they were anyway starving, there will be just a few days they would die. But Victor did something differently. He said, "Okay, let me live day by day and believe that there is a different way, basically." And he was able to be more present. He was able to kind of even mentor some of those weird guys inside, which I think is super brave. And at the end, he survived. And then after that, and you can just imagine the level of trauma that was, he wrote his best book. Like actually, he created his life masterpiece. Do you see the codes? Life is always preparing you to be a success. We are interpreted different. If you're in a season of life where you don't seem to get along with men, don't seem to get along here, if you keep on working on yourself, if you keep on putting that step forward and just live and do the small things that can influence your life, you will end up creating your masterpiece. You will end up meeting that person. You will end up growing and becoming even a bigger guarantee for yourself. And his work of his life masterpiece, and even up to today, he's one of the, like, it's still up to date. It's a legacy what he basically brought. He brought something completely new to this whole psychology scene. And basically he was helping people who survived something incredibly difficult to find meaning in their pain. And I remember the end of the book, and then I will slowly close. If there are more questions, you can absolutely ask them. You have ability to. So basically, there was a lady, and her husband, she was older, like 70, and her husband died before her. And she was really depressed, really sad. So she came to Mr. Viktor Frankl, and she had basically sessions with him, and he was trying to help her find the meaning in her, in it. And he was listening to her story, he was understanding her, and then he basically found the meaning, and the meaning was that, imagine if you died before him, how much would he suffer? Because you love him so much and you don't want to see your loved one suffer. And there is where something clicked in her head. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so lucky that he actually died first. He wouldn't be able to survive that. It would be so difficult. And that was her click. And this is the proof that when we look deep, we can always find meaning, whatever is happening. And you're going to need a lot of that in dating, before and after. A lot of that, because you need to keep on going. I kept on going even when I had no luck, because I was using good principles. So I'll go back to the iPhone's question. I don't know your name. So what do I usually say when they don't ask? So I either wait for a while, and then if I'm kind of, I extracted all the lessons, or he's still treating me well, and he's just inviting me and behaving like very consistently, I would usually ask, like, hey, I felt lovely meeting with you, and I'm looking for my forever partner. So I'm looking to build something steady. And um, we have just been seeing each other, we dated each other. So where do you think this is going? I would just kind of casually put it there. And then I would listen. Then I would listen. Would he tell me, oh, well, I loved seeing you. I don't want to label this. Labels are good, even if I want to keep on dating others. I really believe labels are really good. If he wants to label you, that's good. You don't have to be a girlfriend, you don't have to say yes, but it's good that he plans for the future. We are looking for those guys. Those guys, we want to find just one guy for us. We don't want to keep on like just dating forever, even though it can be fun, but also it's not the point. You have to leave that model once it's time. And or he maybe tells you, yeah, you know what, like, I really like you and I would like to be in a relationship with you. He becomes a little bit more specific. So yeah, these are a little bit like dating logistics. These are not so difficult to learn. I will soon, once this course that I have right now, it's basically helping ladies how to decode the connection to the wrong man, basically just being constantly attracting with the wrong chemistry. Then I will create like a small logistics of dating that I went through. And when it's finished, you can join. I would love to have you in. And what is currently available, what I'm currently basically, what is currently open and you can enroll is just like an information is basically there was a chemistry masterclass, and the chemistry masterclass was just phases that you can go, when that you go through in basically becoming the guarantee, becoming the chemistry, because that's the only chemistry. You become a queen. Queens walk and talk and behave differently with men than women who hope. I don't hope. I don't bet. I create. And in a way, I demand and I leave if it's not there for me. That's the way queen dates, and it takes a lot of practice to develop that. You don't hope. I don't hope good things happen to me. I basically make them happen, but not on a way that we do it in business. because it doesn't work like that. You cannot push a guy, but you can basically find out on time his mindset. And once you're advanced, you will know like this leads me nowhere and I don't have time to lose. So I want a quantum leap. And yeah, so basically, currently what is available, and you are welcome to join in if you want to, is the full course where I help you transcend from the phase one. There are six phases I defined. Maybe I'm going to create the seventh when I become even more advanced. I help you how to basically go from the phase to another phase. Like, for example, like if you're still in uncontrolled chemistry and you can't even catch all the patterns while you just keep on randomly being attracted to a specific guy or just have chaos in dating, I help you with this process, which is 8 steps. There are 8 codes of chemistry between each steps, how to cross between that. And the steps are about discovering the patterns that are hidden inside. And there are some also nervous system reprogrammings. And I also work with you, like I basically mentor you, I call you out, I tell you the next steps, I tell you where you're bypassing, I tell you when you understood a concept in personal development completely wrong and you're bypassing through it. That's basically my job there. And then basically, I can calculate that you will 100% start to achieve the inner transformation, not a logical one, but I will trigger your logic a little bit. And then you can basically use it wherever you are on a scale. Some women come in when they are in control chemistry, which is phase one. The second one is being able to see your patterns. The third phase is starting to be numb because you already are reprogramming nervous system. Phase four is when you attract good guys, but they are boring to you. It's a normal phase. The fifth phase is when you are starting to be the chemistry. And the sixth phase is when you're really a wise woman because you train how to be chemistry with just one guy and the right guy for you. And between all of those phases, there are basically steps to take to fully transition. And this is what we do in the full course. So yeah, by the way, is there many more questions? I am more than happy to answer them, and I'm so happy that you all joined. Let me know, how did you feel like being on this free masterclass, and what did you get from it? Okay, so Julia was saying, thank you so much, Mio, for your feedback. I really appreciate that. So Yasna said, I actually deleted all apps and stopped dating while I was feeling so frustrated, while I didn't find almost no man I would like. I may be connected with my very bad financial situation. I do not want to share with them when they ask, or I am scared or committing. I decided to do something about my personal goal. I know I will feel more confident. What are you taught? There is a lot of things you shared here. If you look at it, like it's a lot of layered things that you shared here. First, from you stopped dating, and then you are sad to tell them financial things. So I will cover some of it because it would be a half an hour answer. Basically, you would have to kind of go through the steps that, because I know you didn't go through the steps of how we basically date. So I don't think you are able to use dating fully as a free therapy. And this is what is also kind of causing some, how would I say that? It's more difficult to apply because you don't know what to do. That's the first thing. The second thing, I don't think it's bad to say that you are not standing good financially, because I think the right guys, the good guys, will try to help you. So sometimes how men help us is not by giving us always money. Sometimes they literally find the help, tell us next steps. Because if you look at the providing is emotional. Providing is not just financial, but it could be providing is when you meet a businessman and he wants to help you with his advices. You're using the free database of knowledge. That is also providing. And a lot of ladies don't look at it that way. Sometimes ladies are just looking for a man to just pay them things while they are not powerful themselves. But you are leaving the knowledge on a table. You are leaving the ability to develop yourself into a powerful woman. The reason why men always subconsciously also look for a woman who can take care of herself, I'm going to tell you that is historical. Just as a side note, is because back then, if he would die, and for example, like he would go hunt animals and he would die, then his offspring would die, his children would die, basically. So men were naturally looking for a woman who they want to take care of, but at least she could take care of herself a little bit. And it's just biological. That's the reason why they do. And so it's good as a woman to develop into your queenhood. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. I would start telling them after some time that I'm not kind of doing well, but I would talk about my dreams. I wouldn't necessarily talk about him paying my rent. It's not a bad thing, but I think it's something that you have to fix yourself. You can talk about it, but are you taking active steps? Are you refining your mindset? Anyways, it's something you can use men to to help you with. I would actually, if I was in your place, I would go on dates and I would start talking about my situation because they could help you fix your life. I know that sounds funny. That's what I did in Germany. I basically found out in Germany when I was working as a bartender how to switch jobs, how to get help from German government, how to sign those papers. One of the dates that was German was sitting with me, translating me the whole complicated document that is called Arbeit, not Wohnungslosgeld in the translation. If somebody's from Germany, they will understand. It means like getting the money back for your um, apartment if you got fired and now the 60% of your salary cannot cover your apartment, you can get that help in Germany. So they helped me literally my whole date is for him to help me fill the paper. Literally. I was using dates to literally uplift my life. You should do that. This is what a smart woman does. You don't go on dates for romance. You go on dates to rebuild your life, to ask for advice, to men want to be heroes. This is something we got it all wrong. When a man can help you something, what he gets out of it is just helping you. Even if he asks something in return, you can refuse. You can say like, well, I I don't do that. Like you as a hero, you decided to give me this unconditionally. I don't feel like I owe you. And this is what I would do on dates when men would try to, oh, I did this for you. And this is the only reason why you stopped asking for help because one guy asked you, oh, you should return this. But you have to learn how to respond to that. Okay, I can see that you're a little frustrated, and I don't believe in that. Thank you so much for your help. And I believe gentlemen give, and you feel good just by giving. So I don't feel like I owe you anything back, either a kiss or something. There was a guy in my dating circle who basically, it was back when I was living in Villingen-Schwenningen in Germany, and he was a doctor. And he was not regularly calling me out on dates, so I already didn't like that. That's a very very limited belief. Actually, we literally work on those beliefs in this chemistry codes um, thing because this is all that is showing up in relationship is shadow work basically of the relationship of love relationship. And let me go back to this doctor. So he basically didn't date me regularly. He would call me on a date every 1.5 week, and for me he was not serious in my head because the guys in the beginning are treating you the best when they treat you with so much inconsistency in the beginning. It's not you. It's not that they don't like you. Maybe have their own world life problems. We kind of make men gods. They have problems. They are not ready for relationships, and you go on dates and you make it all about you. It's your fault. Oh, you did something wrong. This is what I help women delete. That's why I have a group. I talk to them. I give them the course. Have assistants who also helped me with that because they're super advanced in dating. I basically help you get out of this mindset that you did something wrong because I literally tell you all that you have to do and tell you what is not your responsibility. This is what is messing you up in dating. And what he did for my birthday, he bought me a watch. It was like Versace watch, 70 euros or something like that. That was the first biggest gift that he basically gave me. And at the end, he asked me on a date. He brought me watch. I didn't even ask him. I didn't ask him to buy me anything. I was not asking for these kinds of things. I was not like cheeky and like, oh, what will you buy me for? Nothing. Nothing. He brought me the watch. And I was like, I felt it was a first big gift from a guy. There was flowers, cookies, a lot of things that they brought me, but this was like a gift. And I was so thankful, and I was really, my heart was like feeling so joyful like a flower. And then he was nice on a date, and basically the next time, because I felt a little, I mean, I have to admit, I went through all of that you girls went through. So I next time, because I felt like so thankful to him, I invited him to my home during the day. It was like 12 noon, not in the night. It was completely day and just for a coffee. It was not a sex date or something like that. And the next date was only 1.5 week later. And I already noticed that this guy doesn't have consistency. So he now came to my place. We were drinking the tea, and he was not trying to initiate any sex or something like that. He, at the end of the day, just wanted a kiss. And what did we say? How do I feel? Not what is convenient. I said, how do I feel? That's what you should track. I didn't feel good about kissing him. And he asked me why. And I knew why. I didn't feel good because there is no consistency in dating. I'm looking for something serious. I'm looking for my life partner. And I don't feel good with this. I would like to meet more often. He was a nice guy. It was different. I liked him, but he didn't have consistency. As soon as I said that, it was raining so much that day. He literally was so shocked. He literally shut down. You know how that looks like? It's not your fault. Men have their own problems, girls. You didn't say anything so wrong. You just expressed yourself from your heart. And he ran away through the door and he forgot his umbrella and it was pouring rain. It was so much rain. And I went and I realized that maybe 3 minutes later, and I ran down the stairs because I felt so sad for a guy. At least I could give him back his umbrella. And what I saw then after that, he was so shocked that he didn't return back for his umbrella. So I went out of the building and I basically, there was like a very long line between long, like road in front of my building. And there was the path to the Banov, or like where the trains drive. And he was from a little different city, maybe 20 minutes. So he had to go in that direction. And I saw him very far away running on this pouring rain. And I thought in my head, so wait, his trigger was so big that he didn't even want to look at me back and return for umbrella. And he never, ever texted me again. I could have been convenient, but I didn't feel like that. And that is not how your mature, amazing man who will show up, who will be able to show up with you, that's not how he will behave. And it's okay. What is good in that? What is my gift? I had to kind of reparent it with myself. I felt a little weird. I felt all of the shame. And that was my job to solve. This is what dating is: free therapy. You get in all of these situations and then you have to get the juice out. So, okay. I hope that helped. I said I will cover that part of it. Go on dates and start asking for help. Go against this programming because it's not serving you anymore. What are you doing? Like, you're staying poor for a while and you're not asking for help, really? This is what universe is mirroring to you. And now it's going to either be 2, 3 more years of problems, or you're going to catch up as a good student of life and you're going to do it. Okay, Giulietta says, thank you, dear Maria. This live was full of aha moments, which I experienced here. Thank you so much for your feedback. I really appreciate that. iPhone said, I really like this. Felt good and positive. So thanks you for doing this for women. Last question. How do we tell men we are dating other men when they are more traditional and want to date one-on-one? Many men I meet don't understand dating multiple people, so I know how to share it confidently and with strong conviction. Okay, so the thing is, if you want to be blunt like I was, and if you say like, yeah, I want to keep my options open, I don't want to be a girlfriend, I want to be a wife, then most likely you won't be able to be that confident without being a part of the program where I can kind of teach you the whole picture, because it's a lot of reprogramming to be able to be that confident. But what you can say is, it's always smart, it will serve you. It's you can say, oh wow, I feel so lovely hearing that, and I don't feel ready to be exclusive yet. I would like to today a little longer. This is how you can basically buy time without being super blunt like I was, and it still achieves the same result. You are not ready yet, and he needs to be a gentleman and obey that, and a good man will be patient with you. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, amazing ladies. I really enjoyed spending time with you. I think I'm going to a retreat next week, and basically, I will then set a date in 2 weeks or something like that for our next masterclass that will be inside of the Telegram group. For anybody that wants to join current containers, if you feel like if you feel called to be a part of something bigger, you can. It's like an invitation based. I will leave the links down below. If you don't feel it's the right time, it's completely okay. We're still gonna meet like this, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful evening. And thank you so much for joining, Evelina. Thank you. You are so sweet. You are also so sweet, Victoria. Thank you, Maria. Powerful, wise words. Thank you, Victoria. I really appreciate it. So thank you, girls. Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for bringing me so much energy in the comments. I really appreciate that. You really made me feel so much energy. And look at my smile at the end. I'm full of energy. And it's thanks to you and basically your energy and contribution. Thank you so much. Bye bye, Alexandra. Thank you so much.